Osofo, what a day. What a day you've had.
Yeah, it's a terrible day. It's a sad day for
Why
democracy.
were you guys shouting so much in Parliament?
No, for anyone who is a believer in democracy, today is a very sad day. You must be worried. You must be very concerned about how democracy is deteriorating under the watch of President Mahama and Speaker Bagme. We have had, this is the 9th Parliament. We have had 7 speakers of Parliament. I've never seen any of the past speakers under who was seated and presided over such chaos.
This video that we are watching, what was happening here?
You see in your video, the speaker seated, and all because the minority stood to fight for democracy. We stood to fight for the
But why
the
is the
rights
speaker
of our
seated
people.
and you guys are standing? What's the point? What's going on?
The speaker had given a ruling which was accepted by the minority. Then he turned around to issue an instruction, a directive, totally different from what he had earlier ruled, and declaring unconstitutionally declaring the seat of Pandai vacant at the time when the matter is still pending in court. And so we are of the view that the matter is still in court, and the court, until it is a final determination is seen, the seat is not vacant, and so the speaker has no right whatsoever and erred in declaring the seat vacant. And therefore we demanded by our minority chief whip that speaker rescinds that decision, that we make progress.
When we're monitoring in Parliament, the speaker said he was going to reschedule his ruling. Is that not what happened?
Yeah, so speaker
that was around 7 o'clock.
Speaker said he was going to give his ruling the next day.
Yeah, that's tomorrow.
Yes, and we had been there for the whole day. So we filed a motion for adjournment.
Okay.
And then they said, no, they won't have it. Speaker said, no, he won't close us for us to reconvene tomorrow, and that he was still going to continue the business of Parliament as though we live in a one-party state. This is Parliament.
No, but why did you want us to continue? I mean, you wanted a ruling from the speaker, and the speaker said, I'll give the ruling tomorrow. So that ruling aside, let's continue with the work of the House.
No, but
why
it was already 7 p.m.
What time do you close?
People had been there from 12. So, I mean, what stops, what at all was going to be carried out that cannot be taken tomorrow?
So what business transpired then? What happened?
Everything that transpired, I didn't see the mace in place. It's all illegal. It's all null and void.
Who took the mace away?
The marshals of Parliament in the midst of the chaos. And I've never seen a Parliament in session with speakers seated with such chaos, because they want to turn this country into a one-party state.
What brought about the chaos? Can you help us? What brought about the chaos?
So we said that let's adjourn to tomorrow, and then we come, speaker gives his ruling, then we proceed with every other business.
Ruling on what? What ruling was expected from the speaker?
For him to make a pronouncement on rescinding his decision. Now, speaker had earlier given a directive, and the clerk of Parliament had written to EC declaring Pandai seats vacant at the time when the matter is still pending in court. And so
this is the seat that the High Court said there should be rerun.
Yes.
But the legal process is such that one can appeal.
And the appeal was filed.
And it happened in Jachikwesin, didn't it?
Absolutely. It happened in Jachikwesin, it happened in Tofe's case, and in all these instances, they stayed the decision until the final determination. And because
with Jachikwesin, a ruling had been given on the day Parliament was starting.
Absolutely.
And Afenyo Makin had drawn the clerk's attention to it.
Yes.
And that's what brought about the chaos of January 2021.
No, the January 2021, the chaos was about
numbers.
The Speaker of Parliament.
And whether Jachikwesin should be there or not.
Election.
Yeah, before the election, there was whether Jachikwesin should be there or not.
Absolutely. But that did not degenerate into this.
Oh, it was what the degeneration was about
the voting. The degeneration was about the voting of the Speaker.
So the majority at that time, your side, understood that Jachikwesin can be there. Even though
it was contentious.
Well, okay.
It was contentious,
but it didn't become.
But no Speaker of Parliament declared any seat vacant at the time the matter was still pending in court.
Okay, so when Speaker said you wanted him to rescind the decision, then what happened? The story.
So then we said let's adjourn to tomorrow, because it was already past 7 p.m. Then the next day we'll come and then undertake the rest of the businesses after Speaker had indeed declared and rescinded his decision. Then they said no, they insisted that they will carry on business. We said no, let's just adjourn. And we ran this House, minority and majority, on consensus. So you can't treat the House as though it is a one-party state. And then the Speaker corroborated with the majority leader, and insisted that complete disregard to the presence and the sentiment of the minority, business must go on. We stood up. Usually when you stand up while speaker is in the seat, as per our rules, there are a certain level of order that has to be applied. All those rules were defied, and speaker sadly watched on, presided over a chaotic parliament. I've never seen any parliament this chaotic, with speaker presided. Whoever sanctioned that and in whosever interest this business was conducted, it is very shameful.
Some viewers are now coming home and they are now hearing all of that. So let's take it slowly. So speaker gave a ruling that Panda is vacant. Minority protested.
Yes.
Based on speaker's ruling, the clerk wrote to EC. Minority protested and then requested the speaker to review that decision.
Absolutely.
What happened after that? That's today.
That's today. The speaker said he will give his ruling the next day.
He will give a review ruling.
No one is sure whatever decision.
But he indicated that he has another ruling to give.
Yes, he has a ruling to make.
So there were two ways. Either the ruling was going to confirm what he has already said, or he was going to change it.
Absolutely. Okay. Any of these two.
So with that, you wanted to go home and come tomorrow?
Yes, because it was past 7.
But if there was another business to be done, which is not Pandai, can't Parliament do it?
No, but what's the urgency of it? That can't wait for tomorrow. What about one motion, what estimate that was taken today that cannot wait till tomorrow? What was the emergency legislation they passed?
This video we are seeing...
What emergency estimate
This video we are seeing is at the time when they wanted to continue without adjourning.
And so this was when the minority stood up and said, no, Speaker, we're tired. We must go home and come back and continue tomorrow. And usually, anytime you have the minority or one side indicating strongly a sentiment, I mean, common sense must tell you that by consensus, let's adjourn. Tomorrow we just come. Because
so this standing up here and coalescing around the minority leader's place means
so
what?
They called the Marshal of Parliament to come and then heckle the minority. In the process, where the Marshals assaulted a female member of Parliament who was seated standing right in front of me. And I got so upset.
The Marshals assaulted?
Oh, they assaulted a female MP right in front of me.
Why?
And that's why I got so upset.
Who asked the Marshals to come and do what? I questioned
them. The Speaker sanctioned that. So did they sanction you to come and assault females? I'm a father of girls. I have daughters. If you have a wife, you have daughters, and you have sisters, you should be so sensitive not to sanction Marshals to go and assault a female. So if you saw me in the video at some point, I got really upset. This is a very sad day for our democracy. And for all these things they're doing, it is an intent.
Let's build it again. So this standing up here was in protest to what? What was the standoff for? So to tell Speaker that we are going home.
Yes, so let's adjourn. Let's adjourn.
So you can leave, or
no, that's not how it works. Okay. See, the House of Parliament works by consensus, and you run Parliament with 276 members of Parliament, majority and minority. This is not a one-party state, and that is what they are pushing towards. You see, Paul.
Okay, so I still want to understand the chaos. So when people stand up like that, what were you trying to achieve?
So when you have a whole side of the House refusing to cooperate in a manner and raising very, very tenable sentiments, that is past 7 p.m. So let's adjourn.
Oh, okay. So this is what was going on. That's what we were seeing from 7 p.m. to about 8.
Absolutely. That's what happened.
So this happened after the majority leader had treated the reports from the committees on the budget, judicial committee and all that. So
at this point, and throughout this chaos, they were trying to pass through all their estimates. Regardless.
Whilst this was going on?
Oh yes, they were passing estimates.
Are you serious?
They passed over 24 estimates.
Whilst all this
chaos was going on, Speaker was doing business with the majority leader. They were conducting business, motion this, who is moving, who is seconding, and motion is passed, the Speaker will gavel, and then they move on to the next motion. That is how...
And the Marshals were on you guys.
It's like a jungle.
The Marshals were on you guys?
Yes, they dispatched them. It's very, very sad.
But that means they were suggesting to you they can do the business of the House without you. That's what they're trying to say.
The only thing they're suggesting is that they can turn democracy into a jungle. The only thing they're suggesting is that they can turn this country into a one-party state. what they are suggesting is that they can push forward for third-term agenda and they can get away with it and disregard democracy, disregard everyone whose term matters. What they are trying to say, and that's a point, Paul, we've been trying to prove, and that is what the minority stood up to fight for the ordinary person who believes in democracy. We want Ghanaians that President Mahama and NDC don't have good intentions for the democracy. They are coming in to destroy the gains. They are coming in to remove the Chief Justice unlawfully. And then people said, no, you're doing politics. Eventually, they removed the Chief Justice. We further warned that all they intend to do is to go after the Electoral Commissioner and then go after other persons. And then now they proceeded on that. They're in the process of removing them. And then we warned again that all these things they are doing is to grant President Mahama a lifetime in power, completely desecrating our democracy. So if we do not show concern as a citizen and rise up, the unfortunate things happening around us, we fear, Paul, that it might happen. Look at what is happening in Benin. Look at what we are hearing in Guinea-Bissau. Look at what happened in the Sahel, in Mali, in Guinea, in Burkina Faso. Do we want that to happen in Ghana? But the trajectory they are going in for all intent and purposes is completely turning upside down.
And then I do about an anno pay.
No, many.
To buy a
See, I did white bit through into a monana a bomb. To say a paper pa.
The 10 and I was so.
I tell him.
I know that.
Oh, paper. I the same. A yepa.
See, woman, they come.
No, be.
To the bar 7
To make him kind.
Hey,
and I'm some kind Bible. And I'm saying it. My Bible, dear, dream. Some other was so that was it.
It is a bit to feel none near friend. It is so. Who will be or just special. The person I will catch her.
The Americans say one fast button into bed. The Quran. Now, about so far to a while. When many draft from room. Oh, no, I say, oh, no one the link. Nay, yea, Jumana, or one. Now, what you so young, one.
It is a oh, chair the Pamilumias, a equi, there are some other catcher and the Pamilumias.
Oh, Michelle will be a baby, sir. My conscience is set on your uncle border to see. You do one more ton, your horse, almost as soft happy. What do you name?
Do you know?
Oh, quiet. On shed and charge you say, go up on the echo, ye say, or be more broke a crab in arm. One way I military, I will say, I dear Merco, the air how be a be few.
Sure, you. I can form of her. Emma, you buy my money was me.
Fine, said 3 weeks in one, but now what you mean, some way.
Now, it should be a son, and Emma. Ever to agree, Conom yet. And then, Papa said, once and a day, oh dear Dancy, and to walk also to fear our near friend. A test so when you're glaucoma. O shall dear womb, black, what I saw, but I can see, baby, a tuntonia. Who will do her also press of our pier now a year, first also. We are about when I said, already shut up when you should do. Amen.